Today we are in Bal Harbour, Florida for another walking tour. And in case you guys remember the last walking tour, I stopped right over there and went on the corner when I was doing Surfside, and now we are across the street and we're doing Bal Harbour today. So this is the start of Bal Harbour right here, and we're right next to the famous Bal Harbour Shops. So I'm going to take you guys all the way down Collins Avenue to the end of Bal Harbour. And that will give you a pretty good chunk of Bal Harbour, because Bal Harbour is a pretty small village. And it's actually a village, not even a town. They don't even really have their own grocery store or post office or anything like that. The main attraction here is really the Bal Harbour Shops, which you'll see coming up on my left. Right across the street there is the famous St. Regis Hotel. Very luxurious, very expensive. It's actually a condo hotel, so you can buy a condo there and rent it out as a hotel room if you'd like to. So Bal Harbour Shops is going under some renovations right now, and it's also the location that I shot one of my videos in the past about living the luxury lifestyle. So pretty much every shot from that video was filmed here. And it's also where one of our favorite restaurants is, Carpaccio, which is straight ahead. A nickname I have for Bal Harbour is the Beverly Hills of Miami, because it reminds you of that, with these palm trees down the center and the side of the road. Everything's super primed and proper. Everything about Bal Harbour pretty much just spells clean and luxury. This right here used to be the main entrance to Bal Harbour Shops, but now they changed everything to where this is now only a valet and Uber entry, and now the main entrance is on the next block. So anybody that's been here before, if it's been like over a year since you've been to Bal Harbour, this is different now. So as far as the cost of living here in Bal Harbour goes, I would say it's not too bad for how nice the neighborhood is, because there's virtually no crime here in Bal Harbour, and you know, you can walk to the beach anywhere you live here, because you pretty much just have these buildings on the ocean, which obviously are quite expensive. And then coming up on the left, you'll see pretty soon, after Bal Harbour Shops, there's a lot of smaller 2- and 3-story condos and co-ops that are much more affordable to live in. And by affordable, I mean if you want to rent a 1-bedroom or studio, you're looking at minimum starting price of $1,500 to $1,600. And if you want to be on the ocean, we're talking more, probably yeah, this is the new entrance here. This wasn't here last year. Anyways, back to the oceanfront rentals. If you want to be in one of these oceanfront buildings, the lowest I've seen them go for is about $1,700. That'll get you a studio or a smaller one bedroom in one of the older buildings. Obviously, the prices can go much higher than that if you're going to be in the St. Regis or the Balmoral, which is that building right there. There's not much in the way of hotels here either. That Seaview Hotel is probably the oldest building in Bal Harbour, at least one of the oldest. Because if you watch any of those old videos from like the 60s or 70s, cruising down Collins Avenue, you'll see that building here, but all these other buildings weren't here yet. And some other buildings that you see were actually built after some were torn down. So they did tear down a good chunk of buildings that used to be here on the ocean, and now it's more modern high rises. You see now up here on the left, this is what I was saying. We have a lot of smaller buildings that are obviously quite a bit more affordable, but you're still right across the street from the beach, because the beach is right there. So it's not like you're walking far to get to the beach. And I have to say, I've been in quite a few of these little buildings, and they're nice. I mean, they're old, of course, but a lot of them have been tastefully redone. Like the units have been remodeled, and the buildings are very quiet. They have little courtyard areas. There's no riffraff going on here. You know, it's very safe. I've always liked Bal Harbour a lot, actually. I would actually totally live here too. Nice big beautiful tree in the yard of this one. So if you want to buy an apartment in Bal Harbour, one thing to look for is make sure you're looking at whether or not the place is a co-op or a condo, because there is a good chunk of these small buildings that are co-ops, and you pretty much have to pay cash for those units, and they're starting around, you know, $250,000 and up. So you need to have a good chunk of change saved up to be able to buy something like that, unless you're buying a condo, which can be financed a little bit easier. But basically, co-ops are very difficult to get financing for, almost impossible. I don't even know how they do it in New York City, because I know there's a lot of co-ops there, and I can't imagine everybody pays cash, but maybe they do. See, these places are so beautifully manicured with the flowers and the plants. The landscaping is on point. It's very elegant and very respectable. And I think, you know, for this level of lifestyle that you get here in Bal Harbour, for the price, is actually not too bad. You know, to buy one of these one bedrooms here, you know, they're like 800-900 square feet, a lot of them, which is pretty big for a one bedroom, and starting price point at, you know, $250,000 and up. That's not too bad, especially when you compare it to Miami Beach and Surfside, which is just south of us here. Of course, you have a little bit more amenities and things to do in Surfside and Miami Beach, but this is just right up the road, so you're not far. You could easily ride a bike, take the bus, take an Uber, drive your car, and you can be in South Beach from here in as little as probably 15 minutes, depending on traffic. But when you buy a place here, you know, in that $250,000 price range, you're talking, your monthly payments are going to be around $1,700 or $1,800 a month. So that's pretty much equal to what it would cost to rent a similar unit here. And so Obviously, one thing I'm touching on a lot lately is the buy versus rent, and you guys have asked me to do a bunch of different cities, and I plan on checking them out for you to find out if in fact it is cheaper to buy than rent in a lot of these places. So I guess the question that you have to ask yourself when you're considering buying or renting, you know, Bal Harbor's the perfect example, right? A lot of the units for rent are equally priced to what it would cost to buy it. Then you got to ask yourself, how long am I going to stay in Bal Harbour for? You know, can I rent this place out if I end up needing to leave? You know, some of these co-ops have rules where you can't rent, or maybe you have to wait 2 or 3 years before you can ever rent it out. So those are some things to keep in mind if you're going to be buying instead of renting. In the long run, buying usually does make more sense. And what I mean by the long run is we're talking probably 10 plus years. Sometimes it can pay off sooner than that, but usually it doesn't. But yes, over the very long term, buying is almost always better than renting, almost anywhere. But the numbers, you do need to run the numbers just to make sure. So this other area of Bal Harbour here, actually, let me take you guys over here so you can see. This is like a private neighborhood. So the different types of housing they have in Bal Harbour pretty much consists of these low-rise buildings here. On the west side of Collins, you have the high-rises on the east side of Collins. And then this little gated community is where all the houses are. So there's not quite as much of a variety of places to live here in Bal Harbour when it comes to housing options like you have in Surfside and Miami Beach. And I don't think they'll let me in there because you need to have some kind of an appointment to go in. But I can definitely come back one day and do a house tour or an apartment tour in there for you guys, so you guys can check out that area as well. But it's nice that have this little sitting area here. It's guarded 24/7, so you have to have some kind of credentials to get in. You have to be a visitor of somebody who lives there, or you need to have an appointment to go in and look at an apartment or a house. But I wanted to just bring you over here real quick to show you that that is where all the houses are here. When I was walking towards the Bal Harbour Shops, I saw a huge iguana over here by these cars, but I don't see him here now. Ooh, I see a cop right there. He's got the radar gun trying to give people speeding tickets. Maybe he'll nail somebody because people fly through here all the time. Surprised he didn't get anyone yet. So I decided to do Bal Harbour next instead of Sunny Isles because I know in the last walking tour I told you guys I was going to do Sunny Isles next, but somebody requested Bal Harbour and I really love it here, and obviously it's closer to where I live, and I have some real estate work I have to get done today as well, so I decided to just stick closer to home and try to split my time making the YouTube video and then also do the showings later on. But you know, once I'm able to be full-time on YouTube, guys, I can venture out more and go to more places that are further away from home because I won't have to worry so much about being close to home to do my deals, because I'm basically working 2 full-time jobs at this point. But I know it's going to be worth it real soon. When I first got into real estate, I busted my ass 7 days a week to become full-time in real estate because I had no choice. And now I'm basically repeating that with YouTube. Only this time around, I still have to do real estate as well, because when I started in real estate, I had lost my previous job, so I had nothing else to do besides real estate. Oh, check it out. There's an iguana right there climbing the tree. They're everywhere over here. See them up there? I'll leave them alone. It's actually pretty noisy out here with all the traffic next to Collins Avenue, but I got a very good microphone for doing these walking tours that hooks straight up to my iPhone, and it does an amazing job, as you guys can hear, picking up my voice and eliminating a lot of the other noise. If anybody's interested in a microphone like this, I'll link it below. It's called the Shure MV88. It's a great microphone. I've tried out several microphones for the iPhone, and so far this one is by far the best. That building right there is called the Harbor House. I've done quite a few rentals in that building over the years. And then right next door is the Ritz-Carlton. Used to be called the One Bal Harbour, but now it's the Ritz-Carlton. These old apartment buildings here, I feel like they've been renovating these forever. I've done some rentals here in the past too, and they really needed an update. A lot of these units were built back in the 70s and were in pretty much original condition from back then till now. So they were in desperate need of renovation. It's good to see they're doing that. And this walking tour is not going to be nearly as long as some of the last few, mainly because Bal Harbour is so small, guys. You see this bridge that's on my right? This is already the end of Bal Harbour, but I'm going to take you guys all the way out to the little pier they have here, because a lot of people go fishing over here. You can see this is where they have some public parking, and this is also where I parked. This is pretty much the only place in Bal Harbour to park besides Bal Harbour Shops. This little building here, the Quartzo, that's also a condo hotel. So you could buy a unit there and have it in the hotel program and just rent it out when you're not here. And coming up here pretty soon, you guys are gonna see the Haulover Inlet. And I saw this YouTube channel called Wavy Boats that is absolutely crushing it on YouTube. They're getting so many views, it's not even funny. And all they do is film these boats going by this area. I'll show you guys what I mean whenever I get a little closer. But it's like one of those ideas, I'm like, man, why didn't I think of that? Yeah, you can always copy somebody and start doing the same exact thing. And I've seen some people and some channels doing that, but I'm not a huge fan of copycatting. I like to keep things original. Even with these walking tours, I actually watch some walking tours on YouTube as well, and all the ones I've seen are just silent. There's no narration. They're not telling you about the area at all. And to me, that's kind of boring. I mean, it's nice to see the area and feel like you're getting to walk through it, but you're not really learning anything about the area in the meantime. Yeah, you see like this boat coming up here? We might even see this guy up here filming today, because he's out here almost every day. I ran into him once filming for the YouTube channel, and they just film these boats just like that. They put on the screen like what kind of boat it is. Sometimes crazy things happen, especially when it gets really rough here. People fall off the boats. All kinds of stuff. So it's kind of some drama and entertainment for sure, just watching the boats go by. I can definitely see why people are into that. So right across the way over there is Hallover Park. And I plan on doing a walking tour over there eventually too. But like I said, I'm gonna try and stick more close to home. So Bal Harbour's right at the north end of Miami Beach, and I want to start covering more areas of Miami Beach because obviously I live there, I work there, and I know all the neighborhoods there like the back of my hand after working 12 years of real estate there. So I really want to cover all of Miami Beach before venturing out too far to too many other places. But obviously there's a ton of places for me to cover. I could probably be doing these walking tours for 10 plus years and not even cover a fraction of what's down here. So this isn't technically a pier, but it's sort of like one, because you can come out here, you can fish, people ride their bikes out here, run, walk their dogs. It's a great place to just sit and watch the boats go by. There's definitely plenty of free entertainment on this spot right here. And if you guys remember the Surfside tour, this path right there will take you all the way down to Surfside and then eventually into Miami Beach. So this is the same path, and this is the end of it right here. I actually don't see that guy here filming today, which is a miracle. Actually, when I saw him here, I stopped and talked to him for a little bit. Told him I had a YouTube channel as well. Asked him, how he does everything. And he's out here a lot. I think he said he was out here about 5 days a week filming this inlet, so it's quite a bit. Looks like the beach is kind of packed down there today by Hallover. It is a beautiful beach day, guys. It's actually a little warmer than usual today too for January. It's in the mid 80s today, and then it's going to go back down to probably the mid 70s later this week. And here we have the beach in Bal Harbour. I've actually never gone to the beach over here, but I'm glad I didn't, because there's a lot of shark sightings over here because of this inlet. There's a lot, you have a very strong current here, first of all. So this current draws in a lot of sharks because you have a ton of boats passing by. Obviously, a lot of them go fishing. There's fishing that happens here. And so you do get quite a few sharks in this area. So I would be a little more leery to get in the water over here than just down the road where I live. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but if you look far enough down, you can actually see where I live down there in Miami Beach. The end of those tall buildings, that's my neighborhood. So it's not too far away. Technically you could walk, probably be about a 45-minute or an hour walk home, but you could do it. Tell you what, with this breeze coming off the water here, it's like natural air conditioning. Feels like California, when you're by the water out there, the water's so cool, and then when you have that breeze coming off the water, it feels so nice and refreshing. That's exactly how it feels out here right now, because the water gets quite a bit cooler in the winter time than it does in the summer. down that way is Sunny Isles. I know somebody requested for me to do Sunny Isles. I'll definitely have to break up Sunny Isles in parts because Sunny Isles is huge. Probably be like a 10-part video, really. But Bal Harbour is pretty easy to get in one shot. And man, is it gorgeous today. See guys like that seem like they never drove a jet ski before in their life. They're the ones that end up falling off the jet skis and need to be rescued out here, and that's where all this boat drama comes from. Well, that's it for Bal Harbour, guys. I'll see you in the next walking video.